on third-term claims says money and threats were used. Well, I'll be hanging out with Mayor Akinpelu and Majid Jamiu, while BKO joins us via Zoom. Journalist Hangout starts right now.
Are you a foreign national living in Nigeria with an expired visa? Don't panic. The Nigeria Immigration Service has introduced a special amnesty program just for you. You've overstayed your visa on arrival, your single entry visa has expired, or comprehensive expatriate residence permit and automated card (SAPAC) is overdue by more than 30 days. This is an opportunity to regularize your stay without penalties. Hurry, as this grace period ends on 30th September 2025, and from October 1st, enforcement begins and violators will face immigration action. So don't wait until it's too late. This is more than a policy, it's a gesture of hope. Visit www.immigration.gov.ng or amnesty.immigration.gov.ng. This message is from the Nigeria Immigration Service.
Now let's begin the conversation. The strength of democratic institutions lies in their ability to resolve conflicts through established processes. The National Assembly has unsealed the office of Senator Natasha representing Kogi Central, allowing her access to the legislative complex after months of legal disputes. The lawmaker's suspension ended in September 2025, but ongoing court cases and opposition from the Senate leadership had prevented her to return to duties. Now, while this development signals progress, uncertainty remains about whether Akpoti-Uduaghan will fully resume her legislative functions when the Senate reconvenes for plenary on October 7. The federal government continues to press criminal defamation charges against the senator, adding another layer of complexity to her political comeback. All right, gentlemen, two stories in one. The unsealing of her office, but talk to me. Does it automatically mean full reinstatement to Senate activities, or are there additional conditions attached to this?
I think it's a good step forward. I think the Senate has decided to extend an olive branch to her, because remember that the clerk of the House, when she wrote the clerk of the House to inform the clerk that she wanted to resume, the clerk informed her that she cannot to resume because there are court cases and all that. And for them to unseal her office, because that is part of the actions that were taken when the suspension was imposed on her. So for them to unseal the office is a proof that she can now access the office, which is a step forward. And I think that, I hope that the senator will learn from this crisis and accept that olive branch, because it depends, we are not sure, but it looks as if the leadership of the National Assembly has decided to let bygone be bygone. But it's possible that when they want to resume, they could put a condition, for example, that she should apologize. And I read in the news today that she said she's not going to apologize to anybody. And I think if for whatever reason the Senate asked her to apologize to the Senate, she's not apologizing to the leadership of the state, but to the institution of the Senate. If the institution of the Senate believes that she has done things unworthy of a senator, or she has abused her office, or she has insulted the institution, and they wanted her to apologize, I think it will be better for all concerned for her to do so, so that we can move forward, and then they can withdraw all these cases in court, and then she can start representing her people.
All right, Majid, you talked about lessons. I mean, what lessons can be learned, from this episode about Senator Natasha, and, suspension, and the Senate's disciplinary powers over its members?
Yeah, from the From the way she attempted to approach our office today, I'm almost certain that she's not
remorseful.
Yeah, she's not remorseful, and I doubt if she has learned any lessons.
Oh.
I think she wants to continue to fight on, but then she should realize that all those crowds that joins her in the skit making will not follow her to the chamber, and she will have to wait for her to be assigned a seat before she can sit, and you cannot talk until you are asked to talk. So all this high-handedness and showmanship, I think she should relax and calm down. She has caused enough damage to our constituency by denying them 6 months of representation. And if the Senate really want to insist that, yes, they must follow the rule of law, then the Senate, the leadership of the Senate might insist that she tenders that apology and pay the fine that the court asked her to pay before allowing her to. I mean, one thing is for you to have access to the premises, but another one is for you to have access to the hallowed chambers. You might have access to your office, but you might not have. But all these are just. I mean,
so the fact that they unsealed her office, she might not even have access to the other chamber.
That is it, because the court was very clear that we must apologize in that medium where you offended the court and the leadership of the Senate, and that case has a pendency. That case is pending at the appeal, at the appellate court. So the Senate might want to insist that you must apologize before we can allow you into the hallowed chambers. But then our office has been unsealed.
All right, we have BKO joining us via Zoom. BKO, so good to have you join us on the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Now, BKO, her office has now been unsealed. Talk to me. What are the likely scenarios when the Senate resumes plenary on October 7, regarding Senator Natasha's full return?
Well, anything can happen. I know that moves had been made by the leadership of the Senate, by people embarrassed by what was going on, to get Natasha to apologize to the Senate President, the leadership of the Senate for her conduct. But what she told her minders was that if she apologized, that her career would end. Sometimes people think that people will stop supporting them, especially those who support them blindly, if they took certain steps that usually in their own best interest. So she believes that, if I apologize, my career is finished, people will attack me, and all those who are supporting me will attack me. So she has refused to apologize so far. But the issue is not even about apologizing now as demanded by the court, since she has decided to appeal that judgment of the court. As I always say, all the issues were resolved against her. I was reading Daily Trust this afternoon. I saw a line that said the court ruled that her suspension was excessive. That was not a ruling. There is a difference between a ruling and an opinion of the judge. So the judge never ruled that her suspension was excessive. The judge's opinion was that it was excessive. When you rule, you make a categorical order. You give a consequential order. So there was no ruling. And Natasha and her supporters continue to deceive people, including some journalists. Some journalists were also compromised to say that indeed there was a judgment until they appealed. And in the appeal, one of the grounds was that the judge should have ordered the Senate to recall her. So if that was one of the grounds of your appeal, why were you all along deceiving people that indeed there was another? So people want to go on a wild goose chase, they are free, but there was no ruling to the point that, there was no ruling to the effect that the judgment, that the punishment was excessive, but there was an opinion of the judge, and an opinion of a judge is not the same thing as judgment of a court or ruling of a court. So people need to get this clear, because there are young people who want to be journalists who are watching us, and journalists have to be above board. We do not have to behave as if we have a dog in the fight. No. We must report accurately at the way we were trained. So we don't know exactly what will happen when the Senate reconvenes on October 7th. I know that there will be conversations, around what do we do with her. They will also reach to her. In her best interest, they will reach to her in her best interest and in the interest of the institution, because a lot of things have been said. She also said that, she was told to literally seek for bribe from people that she was oversighting and all that. We saw all of these things. Okay. We read about all of these things. So so much damage had been done to the reputation of the institution. Secondly, let us even talk about the IPU that she attended. Secondly, the issue is, for 6 months you were on suspension, and all of those issues that you raised, not one of them did you provide evidence about. This is very important, and Nigerians should demand for evidence. If you said Akpabio harassed you sexually, provide the evidence. If you said Akpabio did this, Akpabio did that, because Akpabio is number 3 man in our country, we reserve the right to know whether he's somebody of a tremendous character. We need to know, and the only way we can ascertain that is by providing evidence. Where are the text messages or WhatsApp message that she sent to you demanding that you cooperate with him? These are issues that cannot be swept under the carpet. Of course, the Senate will feel at this day. We advise the Senate on this program that they should let her resume, because it makes no sense to keep her at home, especially when you have court cases against her. Criminal defamation, she's facing criminal defamation already. Yes. For saying that the Senate president and Abilu wanted to kill her. You must provide evidence. You can't just make allegations against people and just relax, not provide evidence, because some Nigerians are there who do not bother whether you provide evidence or not. If somebody says, Babajide impregnated me, he did that, or he impregnated a dozen women, I'm not simply going to sit down and watch you damage my name and the image of my family. I'm going to come for you. You must provide evidence that I did it. And I'm not saying I'm a saint, but if you accuse me pointedly of committing a crime that can do irreparable damage to my name, I will demand that you provide evidence. I will take you to court. I will get to the end of the act in ensuring that you provide that evidence. Otherwise, you must go to jail. It's as simple as that. Freedom must not be abused. Freedom of expression gets abused routinely in our country. We damage people. We push some people close to suicide. And then those who have done it, they believe that, nothing will happen to them. They will keep moving around like the irresponsible people that they are. You must provide evidence if you accuse somebody of a very big crime that we are talking about here. Because the Senate president has children, he has a wife, he has admirers, he has people that he mentors. And that's the same with me, with other people in Nigeria who are somebody. So you must provide evidence when you claim that they've done this, they've done that. You must provide the evidence. And I don't think our resumption should put an end to all those demands. People must demand that evidence be provided.
Okay. All right, then. Although the huddle is not over, okay, because the federal government is also pressing for criminal charges, but because of our time, we have to move straight to our next conversation. Now, to our next conversation, politics is often described as the art of compromise, and nowhere is this more evident than in Rivers State. Governor Siminalayi Fubara says he has buried the hatchet with his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, declaring that the prolonged political crisis in the state is now over. Speaking after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu in Abuja, the governor reassured that Rivers State is on a new path of peace and stability. When asked about the president's role in their reconciliation, Fubara noted that President Tinubu offered him counsel on navigating governance and sustaining harmony. With these words, Governor Fubara promises to redirect the state towards unity and greatness, prioritizing peace over conflict. Okay, Mayor, the meeting between Governor Fubara and the president, talk to me. What's the significance of this? Because I've been hearing also the comments. Why would the governor go and see the president? But what's the significance? Why was that meeting important?
No, it's not as if the meeting is important. He needs to go and, now that he has resumed, he needs to go and see Mr. President, who suspended him and who administrated him. And to go and, it's just like a thank you visit.
Like a thank you
Like a thank you visit. But you see, Fubara has learned the hard way. And I hope, it seems he has learned his lessons. You see, one of the 48 laws of power is that you must not outshine the master.
True.
And he tried to do that in Rivers, and he burnt his fingers. Wike cannot install you. You didn't even have time to campaign. You were running from EFCC at that time. And then you became a governor. You listened to some people who told you that don't listen to the Godfather. And you know, reputation is very important in power. If you allow people to affect or improve on your reputation, it will affect you when it comes to power. So Wike had to do everything possible to make sure that it keeps his reputation as the leading political figure of the party in that state. And he has succeeded in doing that. I hope that Fubara has learned his lessons. It can still have everything. Because when you go against, you see, in the power loop, when you go against the Godfather, what the Godfather wants is loyalty. Okay. It will establish, it will come at you to show you that he's the boss and that you cannot share power with him. Nobody shares power. That you cannot share that power with him. But if you show loyalty and accept his supremacy, in most cases, the Godfather will forgive you. And things will go back to normal. Because normally, within the power game, it is better for you to have somebody that you have quarreled with, you understand, and then you have reconciled with. People like that show more loyalty than other people. Because if you want to do anything, you will be mindful of the fact that, if I do this, you understand, my boss will think, you have started again. You want to start this battle again. So you will bend backwards to want to show loyalty. So most Godfathers prefer that. Immediately he has shown you and you have shown loyalty, things can come back to normal.
Now, the governor said he has made peace with his godfather, the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. But how will this impact governance and also the internal politics in Rivers State going forward?
Of course, we have started seeing that the House of Assembly, the Amawule led House of Assembly, Martin Amawule, already extended an olive branch to the governor. They invited him to bring his list of appointees for the State Executive Council and other statutory MDAs, that they will quickly work on it. So I mean, it shows that yes, we are seeing the peace, and also Wike before. I mean, I think a day after the emergency rule was lifted, said yes, he had made peace with Fubara, and Fubara also yesterday confirmed that he has made peace with his with his principal. Although he didn't mention the name, but of course we know who that principal is. And so it's a lesson for all those people who succeed, who has a godfather who helped them to become governors, that whatever works for A might not work for you. If you want to be your own man, then you must know that you either need a very long spoon. You see, because it's not everybody who rides at the back of the tiger that will find it easy to come down. Some, in the case of Akwa Ibom, for example, look at, we have given several examples there. So if Fubara wants to behave like some of those people who runs their godfathers out of town, he knows now that he has landed in a very bitter way with the 6 months this thing. So he will listen less to some of those people who didn't want him to be governor in the first instance and now became his friends now. So, and all those so-called elders who could not make him governor, but then who are there to, I mean, advise him that, yes, you have to assert yourself as a governor. I think he knows better now. And there was something very important that we need to say here. He said he has come to Mr. President to tell him that, yes, sir, Mr. President, I've resumed now, and I will be needing your guidance, like a father to a son, going forward, having come back from this emergency rule. I think lessons have been learned, whether subtly or otherwise, that if you don't have that, if you don't have a mother, you don't go and
take a wound,
get a wound,
in the back.
So, which means if you don't have a control of the House of Assembly, don't think you want to fight any godfather. If you do that, the House of Assembly
you get burned.
will fight back.
Mikhail, how do you weigh in here? The reconciliation, I mean, how would this reconciliation translate to, you know, stable governance, stable service delivery for Rivers people? Your thoughts on this?
Yes, as I've said before, this governor must now get down to brass tacks. He must behave like somebody in a race against time, because he had projects in the works that were thwarted by the emergency declaration. It's no longer now a matter of whether the emergency rule was right or was wrong. Emergency rule was imposed. Some of us said, no, it shouldn't have been imposed. They thought we were cowards like them. We will take back what we have said. We stood by it 6 times on TV. I stood by my earlier position that the emergency rule was wrong. It shouldn't have been imposed. But it's been imposed. The president had his way. And even Fubara has come out to say, what the president did was right, too. You know, because let's face it, Wike will have used the assembly to send him packing. But the president didn't want that to happen. So the president intervened in his own way. And today, both men are singing from the same hymn book. The president made that happen, and Fubara is grateful for that. He has said that on a number of occasions. They had different meetings. I believe that at those meetings, issues that could lead to future bust-ups between them may have been addressed. And the governor said, oh, I am going to abide by decisions reached by the by agreements that I reached with other people. So that's saying that he is not going to do anything that will ruffle feathers, that will bring back the kind of crisis that led to the declaration of a state of emergency. There is no longer a minority House of Assembly with 2 individuals and a speaker. That was an irresponsible thing for anybody to even contemplate. So today, we have an assembly led by the majority as demanded by the Constitution. So, and the assembly has indicated a willingness to hit the ground running and work with the governor. They've actually told him to bring a list of commissioners so that they can clear them, and the state and the leadership, the government will be up and running again. So this is what we want to see. Nobody wants to hear, Wike and his boy are quarreling again. Because I listen to the supporters a lot, and I'm happy that they can come back and sing the kind of songs that they used to sing. You know, no be cho, we can lead, no be cho, our governor, you know. So, and then they used to also sing another song that, Fubara must listen to Wike, you know. So they are saying that Fubara must obey Wike. They used to sing that song. They used to also sing that Wike is our leader, Fubara is our governor. So I believe that today things are better. The same supporters that used to sing the praises of Fubara and declare Wike as his leader, while declaring Fubara as their governor, they will be able to sing such songs again, and the whole area won't be charged the way it was charged, leading to the unfortunate declaration of a state of emergency. So we want to see peace. We want to see peace in the state. So, and I believe that Fubara has learned his lessons. I kept talking about lessons. What we advised him to do, he did not do. He was listening to people only interested in using the crisis to line their pockets. His eyes are clear now. I'm telling you, we may see a different governor. You know, just forcing governance and running away from controversies and endless fights.
All right, then. Okay, we need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. It's still Journalist Hangout.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I get the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind where they carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you, they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Now, if you just joined us, it's still journalist Hangout. We still have Mayor Akinpelu right here with us. Majid Jami is also right here. And we also have BKO joining us via Zoom. Now, straight to our next conversation. The truth has a way of surfacing even years after controversial events, challenging official narratives and rekindling debates. Former federal lawmaker Dr. Usman Bugaji has contradicted ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo's recent denial of third-term ambitions, insisting that the former leader said, and I quote, did everything within his power, end of quote, to extend his tenure beyond the constitutional two-term limit. Bugaji, who served in the National Assembly during Obasanjo's presidency, maintains that lawmakers had direct knowledge of the third-term plot involving the use of money and threats to secure legislative support. This revelation comes in response to Obasanjo's claim that if he had wanted a third term, no Nigerian, dead or alive, could have stopped him, reigniting discussions about one of Nigeria's most contentious political episodes. All right, gentlemen. May, I'm going to start with you because former president, let's start this because former President Obasanjo, he recently denied ever trying, to extend the tenure. But I want to believe that you, yourself, Sam Majid and BK, you were actively involved in journalism at the time. How do you react to this denial by the former president?
With all respect to President Obasanjo, as an elder and a former president of this country, he was lying. He actually wanted third term.
Lying is a strong word.
Not that I thought so. I know so.
You know so?
Yes. Because with all respect, I was also involved one way or the other. Number one, at that time, part of the problem was that he was trying to do it without coming frontally to do it, informing people to do those things on his behalf. I know, for example, that his close aides towards the tail end, when the National Assembly was about to meet, were trying to reach out to people to see how they can solve the problem. In fact, the president was outside the country then, and his aides were trying to meet with people, reaching out to people in different fields, including the media, to see how they could salvage it. But at that time, it was late because the Atiku camp had already put a structure in place to thwart it. Two, the president should know that each senator was given 50 million naira, but mobilized with 50 million naira in respect of the third term project. And the money came from one of the most successful banks. In fact, the money was paid by somebody from a particular bank. The 50 million came from one particular bank. It's not, I know so, I'm saying so authoritatively.
I think all of this thing was happening, the president at the time was aware.
Yes, of course. And then not only that, towards the tail end, because the Atiku faction knew what he wanted to do, because they wanted to do it through constitutional amendments. Okay. You understand? And the Atiku faction had a senator from Lagos who we know as the arrowhead of those who were working against that third term. And as of that week, when his aides were reaching out, it was obvious that, that the third term thing will die. In fact, because of the third term project, that was why every other amendments that was supposed to have been done in that constitutional review was just discarded. You understand? Okay. So for him to come, because he had said so before, that if he had wanted to that time, he would have gotten it, nobody could stop him. That is a lie. He wanted it, but he couldn't get it because the forces against him were entrenched.
All right, BK, I'm going to come to you now because the former lawmaker Usman Bugaji said that money was distributed, threats, intimidation were used to influence, lawmakers. But does he have records to substantiate these claims? And the former president has denied it.
So because he denied, does that necessarily mean that it's the truth? How can an individual be lying to Nigerians? Consistently, an old man lying to Nigerians on a metronomic scale. And you think because he's lying on a metronomic scale, then other people are not saying the truth? Come on. I was an active player in this whole thing. Senate President at that time, Ken Onamani, came to Lagos. I was one of the journalists that he met at a hotel. And what did he come to tell us? He told us that the president wanted third term. How do we do it? And we told him that no, you cannot do third term. Nigerians don't want it. If you try it, it will bring crisis. We were the ones who suggested to him that they should show the proceedings live. I still remember some of us who were there. How the Komolafet, the deputy managing director of This Day, is alive. George Umba was also one of the senior journalists who were at that meeting. Senate President Ken Onamani cannot deny this. It's not possible, except if the Senate President Ken Onamani does not have honor. Eniola Bello, managing director of This Day, he was at the meeting. We were the ones who said, look, Nigerians don't want this thing. And the way to show that Nigerians don't want it, get your colleagues to speak on live TV. The fact that they did it made many of the people who were eager to push for third term among the lawmakers to back out. El-Rufai detailed in his book, The Accidental Public Servant, how Ahmadu Ali and any championed the third term. How the then Senate President and Aminu Masari were pressured to drop the electronic voting in place of voice votes and stop the live telecast of the proceedings. And I'm saying we journalists, I'm happy, thank God, that I was one of those journalists in that meeting. We were the ones who suggested the live telecast. Let us see whether some of the lawmakers have two heads to be able to say, okay, I'm standing now on behalf of my constituencies to demand for third term. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And that helped to put an end to the nonsense that Obasanjo was planning to do. Ojus Okalu has consistently insisted that Obasanjo wanted a third term. He mentioned the fact that world leaders like President Bush, Mandela, and Mbeki all told him not to try it. Condoleezza Rice, U.S. Secretary of State, in her book, No Higher Honor, page 638 of No Higher Honor, a memoir of my years in Washington, Condoleezza Rice stated that in 2006, when President Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria sidled up to President Bush and suggested that he might change the constitution so that he could serve a third term, the president told him not to do it. The president told him, you have served your country well. Now, turn over power and become a statesman. This is on page 638 of Condoleezza Rice's book, titled No Higher Honor, a memoir of my years in Washington. So that is, the point is, and one of Obasanjo's fiercest loyalists at that time was Ibrahim Mantu, the lawmaker from Plateau State. Before Mantu died, Mantu also said there was an attempt to bring third term. It is not possible for an individual to say he's right and everybody else is wrong. Those who were part of history at that time all testify to the fact that Obasanjo desperately wanted third term. Not just that he wanted to, he desperately wanted it. That he did not come out to openly say, please support a third term me. Nigerians, why don't you just support me for a third term in office? That is not sufficient. Badly wanted third term. So it's not, El-Rufai was one of the closest to him.
At that time, yes.
One of the closest ministers, one of the ministers that Obasanjo respected the most in his cabinet. In fact, there was a meeting that El-Rufai had with management of the News and Temple magazine that I used to work for. And he told us pointedly that if Obasanjo had the choice between his first son, Benga, and himself, that Obasanjo would pick him. So if a man can go to the extent of talking like that, that should tell you how much he knew that Obasanjo liked him as a person.
Okay.
And Obasanjo felt sad that El-Rufai was the first person who worked with him who came out to say, yes, there was indeed an attempt to do third term. He does not want to hear about El-Rufai. He calls him a betrayer. He calls him all kinds of names. Now, I'm not saying that El-Rufai is such a fantastic person and all that. That's not what we are talking about. But I'm saying that Obasanjo was very close to El-Rufai. So if El-Rufai could come out to say Obasanjo did want a third term, he documented it in a book, not afraid that it could be taken to court, not minding the consequences, I believe El-Rufai absolutely. And as I said, I was an active participant. I was among the journalists who advised Ken Unamani not to support third term, but that instead he should get his colleagues to do it.
Okay.
If they have the balls, they should do it on live television. They don't give journalists credit for the derailment of third term. No. But this was the road that with everybody talks about Ken Unamani, they praise it. But we were the ones who advised him. And I double-dared the former Senate president to say I lied.
Okay. We
were the ones who advised him. We were there. And my colleagues are still alive. I've mentioned the names of some of them. So this is the Obasanjo is lying. This is a premium grade lie. Premium grade lie coming from a former Nigerian president. He wanted third time. And there's no human being who can say that anything that he wants, God will give him. After all, during the last election, he wanted a different person to win. I mean, he supported a different candidate. Okay. Why didn't that person win? In 2019, he supported a different candidate for president. Why didn't that person win? 2019, 2023.
Okay,
so you cannot tell us that everything that he wants, even the clerics, Christian clerics that have the highest percentage of or hectoliters of anointing, they cannot say that everything that they want, God delivers into their hand. No.
Okay. All right.
That is not true. Not even Jesus Christ.
Okay,
will say that everything that I want, God will give it.
Beautiful comments, a beautiful submission there. The former president threw out a challenge. He said that if there's anybody that he discussed tenure elongation with, the president should come out. I mean, how do you weigh in here?
See, Obasanjo, as a former president, I think he should respect himself and also respect Nigerians. I mean, he is a pathological liar.
The word liar is a strong word here.
See,
he's a former Nigerian leader.
I've engaged Oji Uzokalu, the former governor of Abia State, and now a serving senator. And I want to believe he's watching this program now. He told me how Obasanjo fought him as a governor then, because they were very close. He fought him because he didn't support his third term bid. And Big also mentioned it. They offered, I think Aminu Masari was House of Reps speaker then. They, while offering others 50 million, they offered him 500 million naira. He said it. 500 million. Aminu Masari is still alive. What is Obasanjo talking about? Yes, he could say he didn't tell anybody. You see, there is a way all these principals, or the way they behave. When they want something, there's something that they can deny later, they send out their guys. So when the thing backfires, they'll say, they will sacrifice the person.
And they say, I'm not aware.
I'm not aware of what happened. So he could say that yes, he has never discussed it with anybody. But it's Obasanjo.
I'm telling you that his aides, his closest, his close aides.
The problem with Obasanjo is that.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, you're still going to continue.
No, he sees that Tinubu is shining, so he knows that nobody is listening to him again, so he wants to shake the system a bit.
You're still going to continue with that conversation, okay? But we need to go on this quick break, okay? We need to pay some bills. When we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. Still Journalist Hangout.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind where they carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go Bible.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
And cable, great quality, now with the new look.
And we're back. It's still Journalist Hangout. I need you to conclude on that, because the former president went on to say that he had the power to seek tenure elongation if he actually wanted it.
He said,
he said he had the power to do it.
He said his choice then was
the debt forgiveness.
Obasanjo, I can't take him serious anyway. I don't know why we are even spending this much time on his because if tomorrow he will still say it. Okay, now Usman Bugaji said something. They said Senator Victor La was a member of the House of Reps then. He was chased out of town. He was threatened with all sorts of things. He is still alive just because he was vociferous against third term. All those who fought against third term directly, he was chasing them all about with a EFCC. Obasanjo I don't know how the man lies like that, because he doesn't want anybody to be bigger than him. Now that he sees that the reforms, all the things he thought were not possible, Tinubu is doing it, so he needs to check the system and bring somebody that will distract all of them. He knows, why has he not written a letter since 2 years ago? He writes a letter almost every 6 months because he knows that Tinubu knows him and knows that he's going to get maximum response to his reply to all those letters he's been writing. He has been writing letters since 1979. He is the only person that knows it all. Whereas he had the opportunity, everybody in Nigeria loves him, in 8 years. Why couldn't he fix the refineries? Why couldn't he fix our electricity problem? $16 billion.
Wasted $12 billion.
$12 billion. Wasted on electricity. Now we would have had probably like
on wrong policies.
Wrong policies.
Doing only one form of electric generation.
Mambila Plateau. So he would now come. He will now come and be pontificating as if he's the saint who knows it all. whereas he knows nothing.
I need you to just, your final thoughts on this matter before I go to BK.
You see, in power, Obasanjo is somebody who likes to package himself properly.
Okay.
Other people are the ones that are corrupt, is the one that knows what is, even those who are before him, he didn't acknowledge them. Till he left, he didn't acknowledge MKO. You know, he said MKO was not the Messiah. It's like that. Though brilliant man, brilliant man, you have to give to him. Obasanjo was brilliant, and his government was relatively good. Yes, he made some mistakes, but his government was relatively good. But it should not, when you want to, it's better for you not to say anything than for you as an elder statesman to lie. Because some of us, we know the facts, because we were participants in it. We were involved in it one way or the other. We were involved. So we know the story. That's what I said. Not only that, people were mobilized, you understand, towards the tail end, its aides were reaching out to people to try to salvage the problem. You understand? And it didn't work. And that was what caused the problem with the position. Because, you know, there are other constitutional amendments. They were supposed to come into that thought and two constitutional amendments.
They threw away both the baby and the backwater.
They threw away. That's why everybody was just saying, you know, I couldn't do this. I remember that some students would just say, we don't want anything about no constitutional amendment. Just throw everything out.
All right, to round off this conversation, BKO, is this revisionism at play here? Your final thoughts on this?
This is impotent revisionism. That's going nowhere. When he's saying this, it's like a human being talking to a wall. Well, he's wasting his time. We know that he wanted Tottenham. God knows that he wanted Tottenham. So let him be going from pillar to post, trying to say he didn't want Tottenham. But the truth is the truth. And the truth is by nature self-evident. How come the account of Unamani, the account of Condoleezza Rice, who is not even a Nigerian, she does not have a dog in the fight, the account of Ojus Okalu. Even I remember at the news magazine, we met the late Speaker of the House of Reps, Gali Naba. Gali told us they are desperate to do Tottenham, but that they will fight till death to make sure that it does not happen. All of those people were sacrificed. They didn't allow them to come back to the National Assembly.
Yes.
All of the people were in the forefront of it. They didn't come back. Gali never come back. So if people will keep talking about, if one of the closest person to you, the late Ibrahim Mantu, that they tried to recall him from the Senate, Obasanjo and INEC made sure that recall didn't happen. If Ibrahim Mantu was fiercely loyal to you, can come out to say you wanted Tottenham, who do you think you can continue to deceive that you don't want it? Who? You think Nigerians are fools, they will believe your lies? No, they won't believe those lies.
All right.
As I said earlier, premium grade lie. This one is premium grade lie, but we no go wash.
Okay.
No go wash.
All right, Miko, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
I have no evidence.
Thank you so much for joining us. Moji Jami, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much, for trying to, keep the account straight. Thank you so much. Mayor, I can call you. Thank you so much for doing this with us. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Hello, fellow Nigerians. I'm Lanre Saunilu, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency. Our relatively short history since independence, remarkable achievements have unfolded. However, we can only acknowledge these successes if we choose to focus on the positive. Remember, you cannot see the light if you keep your eyes closed. Great things are happening to many Nigerians. Our country is a land of opportunities for those who are positive. At the National Orientation Agency, we are committed to highlighting the many uplifting stories under the Renewed Hope agenda. We invite you to listen to the testimonies of fellow Nigerians who are experiencing the positive impact of government initiatives and Nigerian environment. Nigeria is thriving for millions in extraordinary ways, but it requires a mindset of optimism and a heartfelt love for our country to truly appreciate this progress. Join us on this journey of growth. Our cup is half full, not half empty. Embrace positivity and be a proud Nigerian. I am a proud Nigerian.
I am Monsurat Ololade, the founder and the creative director of Lade Nigeria Crafts and Leather Works Limited. Lade Nigeria is a shoemaking brand where we focus on custom-made wares and leather products. We are rooted in three visions: culture, creativity, and profit. Why